So, our second long ball of the day here on Wednesday, the public rebuttal, I think, statements against the Club World Cup continue to grow as the La Liga president, the latest to hold a press conference and publicly ask FIFA president Gianni Infantino, please cancel the 2025 Club World Cup. And this comes after other big names and leaders in world and European football, including the FA in England and Uli Hoeneß in Germany, saying enough is enough with overscheduling.
Yeah. The quote from Javier Tebas, who is the president of La Liga. Mr. President, addressing Infantino, you know you have not sold the broadcast rights for the Club World Cup. You know you have not sold any sponsorship rights. Scrap the Club World Cup. It is not needed by the players, the clubs, or FIFA. If you use FIFA's own money to pay for it, you are taking money away from the national associations. Please scrap it. I mean, this is a direct and personal rejection of Gianni Infantino's pet project. Right. And you can't be FIFA president. We went through so many years suffering because of the previous FIFA president, Sepp Blatter. Or, we watched him buffoon his way around the world, basically milking soccer dry for the benefit of himself and the people who ran the national associations.
I feel foolish. Today, I feel like I ruined soccer.
And I mean, he talked about what, soccer on the moon? That was one of Sepp's things. Got to play. We're going to play soccer on the moon. That'd be awesome.
First, the continent of Africa, next the moon.
Well, actually, which would go over better, soccer on the moon or the Club World Cup? The way that Johnny wants to do it, because this is direct rejection. The FA, La Liga, and consider the sources. Right, these are not people necessarily that I think.
These are not hot take artists making these.
Well, not these that for sure, but also like. I look at all of these people in charge of these associations and think, well, what's your motives here? Like, you're not pure of heart. Stop it with all that nonsense. But there seems to be a growing consensus that this idea stinks to high heaven and nobody wants to do it. And I wonder if we're going to get to a point, if Johnny continues to forge ahead, and Tebas is right, nothing's been sold from a TV rights perspective or any of that. Will we have, after what Ancelotti said and then walked back, will we have some clubs boycotting this thing? Will we have some clubs saying, no, we're not doing this?
Probably the selfish perspective here is, I mean, there could be an underlying layer, like maybe he brings up the TV deal. You haven't sold the rights because, like, hey, we don't have any money coming in, so it looks like just effort without pay. But their selfish interests could just be the fact that they feel that this is encroaching on the quality of their domestic product. I mean, the FA Cup or the FA boss, that definitely related, like, where are we going to fit our domestic league games if we do all these?
This is 100% Gianni Infantino going into some other dog's territory. Javier Tebas, he peed over here, and the FA, they peed over there, and this is their this is where they are, and you're not supposed to come in and mess with our stuff. And Gianni Infantino is taking the tack that FIFA can do what they want because they're over everybody, right? But this is as much about the battle between UEFA, Alexander Seferin, all of those people, all of the individual FAs, all of the individual leagues. It's as much about that as it is about, hey, this is for football. It's not. It's not for the game. It's for this turf war that continues to tear things apart.
Urias Tosh in the comments pushing back that Javier Tebas is certainly a hot take artist. Apparently, he may have said some incendiary things in the past, but I meant the hot take artist as far as it's not someone just trying to get some attention on the internet. I mean, it may be from an official standpoint. He is trying to incur some change. Obviously, he's not doing it for naught, right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many competing things at play here. And, I go back to the Super League and that whole debacle, which we're not done with. Like, be prepared.
Is this actually trying to intercept that?
Of course it is. 100%. This is Gianni Infantino and FIFA saying, we will not have any role in whatever the Super League is. We're already watching UEFA rake in the cash from the Champions League every year. Why can't we get our piece of that? Why can't we hone in on the club game and squeeze that for something? And of course, Johnny and every FIFA official will say this is for the good of the game because this money will go to spread the game around the world and reach new frontiers and develop in places that don't have money, and obviously, expose the world to teams from leagues that they don't really know about. All of those things sound good. It's all just window dressing, right? It's all just words. In the end, when you are not doing the calculus to figure out if this is something anybody actually wants, if there was a clamoring for something like this, okay, fine, FIFA, it's your job to meet demand. But I don't know that there's any, and we don't have empirical data, we don't have polling, but I don't think there's a groundswell from the fans of world football for a club World Cup, for a tournament this large that's supposed to do what exactly, except for force players to play more games in a locale far away from their base. I mean, I think Johnny's argument is all these teams do a preseason tour anyway. What's the big deal? Well, it's like, Johnny, that's on their terms. They choose those things. And yes, sometimes those things are stupid. Like, sometimes the way that teams handle their preseason tours are ridiculous.
Hey,
but it's
don't
up
be
to
slandering the Audi Cup like that.
I mean, all of them, right? All of the East Asian tours, the North American tours, the way that these clubs are doing that to make money is on its face kind of ridiculous and disgusting. But again, it's on their terms. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. And here's FIFA basically saying, no, you have to play in this tournament. You have to do this thing because we will punish you, or we will create some sort of sanction if you don't, because we're the ones who control, everything. We sanction the leagues. We organize everything.
Before we move on, here we're sitting in middle October. The license hasn't been sold. Leaders of national football associations are speaking out on it. What's the feeling in your waters? Does this go ahead, or does FIFA kind of sweeten the pot and they kind of forget about all their arguments here?
It's really hard to ever imagine something like this being planned, being organized, web pages going up at FIFA and things like that. It's hard to imagine it not happening after that. But I actually think that there's some real momentum to stop this thing in its track. Does that make sense? I got that messed up. Yeah, how do you have momentum to stop something? But no, I really do think that there's enough pressure here that I can imagine it not coming together. I don't know what promises have been made, and obviously you worry, not us, but the people involved will worry about lawsuits and the like. I mean, you think about what happened around the Qatari World Cup when Fox had already bid. Now, FIFA mishandled all of that in terms of the rights and how they sold them. But it was this notion that Fox was going to sue, or any rights holder who was expecting the Summer World Cup was going to sue FIFA. But FIFA then went and said, well, actually, we'll give you the next World Cup for free. We'll throw that one in so that you don't sue us for the Winter World Cup. FIFA may have to make some promises like that if they don't want to be sued. And right now, I don't know if they have anything to offer these clubs in these leagues. So it's possible. I think there's probably a 50-50 shot right now that it gets canceled.
We shall see.